What is up, everybody? Sorry I had to shut down real quick and go from there, but I was just getting done with a very good interview and I was like, let's go live. There's been some things that need to be said, and everybody hit the one video up that I did with Dave Sledge, which was a fantastic video, but yet I got a little bit more negativity, but that was also a very good thing. So I'm going to clear the air about a couple things. Um, and that's just going to be the way it is. So the first thing, I've gotten so many comments about me eating meat. People telling me to be vegan. And I'm here to tell you that's never going to happen. And that you need to get over yourself. Period. End of subject. We put things on this planet to feed ourselves. Whether that be a peach, whether you yank that peach off the tree, you've just murdered it and killed it. You're going to eat its flesh. In order for us to survive, something has to die. It's barbaric, it's sick. I really don't care for it. Either way, we have to kill something to eat, whether you're vegan or not. I will not eat anything out of a box ever again, out of plastic, period. It will not happen. If it does not rot in your refrigerator in 2 or 3 days, if it does not rot on your countertop within a few days, it doesn't belong in your body. That's coming straight from Jesus, coming straight from God. End of subject. Jesus ate lamb. Something had to die. Jesus ate fish. Something had to die. Whether you pull a carrot out of the ground, cabbage, celery, it doesn't matter. You killed it and you're going to eat its flesh. It dies. So by me eating meat is no different than eating a fresh piece of fruit. Okay? I am not going to stop. So quit asking me to. I know it's a little harsh, but it is what it is. It's how we have to survive in this state of these beings. Something has to die in order for us to live. End of subject. I will not go vegan. If you don't like it, don't comment or don't watch. Second, that video that I talked about World War III blew up like a Christmas tree. Didn't expect it to. I thought it was a fantastic interview with Dave and I. It was beautiful. All right. But people seem to comment negatively. Not very many, but some of them were harsh. And I only listened to a couple of them because my intuition is at an all-time high. I call it my bullshit meter. I know what you're going to say before you are even going to say it, and it'll get instantly hidden and deleted. Done deal. But regardless, if you're going to comment on one thing that I talked about without watching the rest of my content, which I think I have 30 some videos, and leave this rude, nasty comment, educate yourself. All right? Because the only thing you have to go on are old books written by people millennia ago or now, which pertain to not having the actual experience of dying. So how can you comment on something, and it's not just my channel, I've seen it on other channels as well, where you're leaving nasty comments because it doesn't fit into your definition of what you think it should be. Well, I'm here to tell you, you have no idea what you're talking about. So you shouldn't be commenting on it in the first place. All right? That comes directly from God. If you didn't experience something, you have no business commenting on it. All right? It would be like me telling a mother that childbirth doesn't hurt. Okay? Well, I could even go any further, saying you're nothing more than a drug addict that, you wanted your fix. Childbirth doesn't hurt. Now, to a mother who's given birth, you're going to look at me like I'm nuts. How could you possibly say that? Because You don't know. Do you see where I'm going with it? So to all of you that want to leave negative comments because you don't know what you're talking about, just don't do it on my channel. All right? It'll get deleted and hidden. So moving on. Let's talk about some other things that I wanted to talk about that I've been asked to several times, to dive a little more into Ascension and what that really means. All right. Right now, the Earth is changing dimensions. Right now, as we speak, some of you are feeling these symptoms. All right. I felt them hardcore last year. I'm still feeling some of those symptoms right now as we speak. So what is taking place? The Earth is changing dimensions as we are. We are ascending. What does that mean? We are ascending into a higher form of consciousness from this 3D physical world into a much higher state of consciousness, a higher state of being. With that being said, we are being bombarded, our bodies are being bombarded with higher light vibrational energy. Your body is being transformed on the genetic level. Your DNA is being altered right now. Your cells are being altered right now. Some of you are feeling dizzy. Some of you are feeling sick to your stomach. Some of you might hear ringing in your ears. You might be sweating profusely. All right? Those are all signs of ascension. And those symptoms will fade in time, but I'm still feeling the extreme fatigue. I am still feeling back pain. And right now I'm feeling it more so in my hips. Right now when I try and meditate, it's unbearable. My sleeping pattern has been messed up again. So, but that's what we're talking about ascending. The Earth is moving into a new dimension, a higher dimension. And so are you. And, you know, it's your choice on how you wish to ascend. You can push it off. You can fight it. Eventually you're going to give in, and eventually it's going to happen. But for the most part, most people are just going to go through it. You're going to feel it. Some have already done it like I have. Some are going to come to it. And some, you know, are holding off and are going to fight it. But either way, that is what's happening right now. And, you know, to that person that wanted me to explain Ascension, that's what it is. Our bodies may change a little bit as looks wise, but for the most part, not. And we're moving from a carbon-based life form, which is us, right, into a crystalline body, meaning, like I said, our DNA is changing right now. On a cellular level, our cells, instead of being carbon-based, are on our silica, right? So when those, what does silica do? You know, turns into glass, right? So our bodies are absorbing a much higher frequency of light and energy and vibration, causing us severe pain in some cases. For me right now, I'm still feeling a lot of back pain. So just look out for those. For all of you think, what's going on? Why do I feel sick? Why can't I get out of bed? Why can't I move? Be nice to yourself. Be good to yourself. Love yourself. Just know that these are symptoms and that your body is changing, that you're being looked after, loved after. Your higher self is coming down towards you. And when you sleep at night and hovering above your body, and, you know, your body is being altered on every level. And so is the Earth. All right. So look for those. Another question I get quite a bit is, you know, the whole topic of World War III. It's coming. You know, it wasn't meant to be doom and gloom. It wasn't meant to do anything other than what I do, which is teach. All right. And that's what that's what I came to this earth to do. And it's a very important topic because it's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Within 10 years, it's going to be here. All right. And we have the ability to stop this. And that is what I am desperately trying to do when I do my videos every week, is to educate all of you. The only thing that is real in this world is love. I was inundated with it. I was home. And I think I even said this in one of my videos. I've been bitten by the love bug. It's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that can conquer what is coming. We need to love one another, ladies and gentlemen. all of you who watch this. I know this is impromptu. I got done doing an interview and I'm like, this needs to be talked about. So here I am. We need to love one another. Some of you have been wronged horribly. I can feel it. All right. I'm a huge empath. My intuitive abilities are off the charts. All right. It's part of who I am. I am also a twin flame, which I will get into in a little bit. Somebody's asked me about that. I did a video on that, soulmates and twin flames, but I'll get into it because the video I did on World War III was just, a little more people went apeshit over it. The only thing that matters is love, okay? That is what we are created out of. It is who we are. We are the direct manifestations of our Father, period. God, source, whatever you want to call him. Pile of dog shit. He doesn't care. Whatever you call God, however you connect to oneness, all right? We are all the same. Your vehicle is different. That's it. I am not a man. I never have been a man, never will be. To all you female vehicles out there, you're not a female. You never have, you never will be. Okay? So, to push that aside, we need to come together. We need to be an egalitarian society where we look at each other as equals on every level. Okay? Parenting, work, whatever it is, there is no difference between us. Love conquers everything. You know the saying in the Bible, I think it's called, love conquers a multitude of sin, right? Well, sin doesn't exist, but that's where it came from. Love conquers everything, all right? And I'm desperately trying to stop this annihilation from happening because all of us are going to disappear from this earth in a horrific way. I've seen it. It's coming. There's no stopping it unless we learn to love one another. I don't care how much food you stock away, what you try and do, it will not be enough. And in those 10 years, at the end of that 10 years before it starts, those children being born who are not indoctrinated into this horrific society from the church and from the society that has, done it to us, they will be the ones to carry us into the new age, into the golden earth. Why? Because they haven't been indoctrinated with the hate, the crap from the church saying they're unworthy, that they're sinners, they're not worthy of their Father, they're going to burn in hell. They're not going to be indoctrinated with them exploring their bodies and beginning to masturbate, and you've all gone through it. Quit touching yourself. Quit. That's disgusting. You go into your room. You've all been shamed into compliance. All of you have, listening. And that's what I'm talking about, the victimization. You stick your children in front of a TV, you stick something in their mouth. I got to get the laundry done. I've got to get make dinner. No, we're doing the wrong things. It's got to stop. And that's what I mean by the victimization and indoctrination that we've all gone through. That's why all of us watching cannot go into the golden age. We cannot be there. All right? We need to love one another as I love you. That's why I started my channel. That's why I started doing all of this. I don't need to. I know what I need to do. I can keep this for myself. This is for all of you who are beginning to waken up, to know that 1 and 1 isn't adding up to 2 anymore. That what you're hearing from the church isn't what's coming from all of us that have died and have gone to the other side and experienced it, right? Let's talk about someone that reached out to me recently, an atheist. What is an atheist? Doesn't believe in God. It's basically the outright rejection of the Holy Spirit, which calls from the Catholic Church is the unforgivable sin. Then why have every single atheist that I've watched on a near-death experience have been welcomed home with open arms? Do I believe in astrology? What's the best? The best way to connect with your guides there, hon, is to meditate. Calm your mind, tell the ego to fuck off, go within, which is what Jesus was teaching when he was here, is to go within, to find yourself, connect with your higher self, and then to call in your guides, and to ask for assistance, to ask for guidance. They're waiting there. They're standing by you. But they're not going to come and, you know, until you're asked. So the best way that I do it is through meditation right here on this very couch in the mornings and before I go to bed. Half an hour. I dedicate the last part of my life to slowing down, breathing, and going through my mantra and asking my spirit guides for more info to connect with them. Am I on the right path? And from what I've been getting, it's a definitive yes. So that's the best way to connect. And to have a mantra that you say throughout the day. And I'll give you my mantra. How has so much abundance entered into all areas of my life? I love you all so very much. And I say it 1,000 times during the day. I am reprogramming my subconscious mind to say, wait a minute, I'm looking at my bank account and we're negative. Where's the abundance coming from? So when you're reprogramming your mind, because you've been programmed the wrong way, you have to retrain your mind to think in love, because you've given your life to the ego. Free will, right? You've just let it go. And that's what you see on the news every day. And that's why I refuse to watch it. The ego is running the world. Death, destruction, mayhem, chaos, decapitated babies, wars. The ego is in full control. You have to take control of your life. And that requires you to go within. And that, I found out, for me, the best way is to meditate. And when you can touch yourself and you can start to feel your energy, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm starting to see repeating numbers. Positive affirmations are coming through. And I know that, big changes are coming. Maybe I will. That's not a bad idea. I'll look into that. Tell the ego to fuck off. Your ego is not your friend. Don't ever think, and if anybody tells you your ego is your friend, it is not. The ego is a false belief in your identity. You think you're a man or a woman, and you go with it and you run with it, all right? And you believe in all of that. You believe when you speak to me that I'm a man. I am not, all right? None of us are. So the ego is a false belief in your identity. Don't ever, for once, think that the ego is your friend. It is not. And through meditation, you will find that you will start to do battle with the ego. The ego does not want you to meditate. The ego knows what you're trying to do, which is kill them, to reach within, to find the God spark within you, that volleyball size of energy that is within you right here in your heart chakra. He knows what you're going to do. But that's a good idea. Go tell the ego to fuck off. It's beautiful. But yeah, getting back to the ego, he's not your friend. And I don't know if any of you have seen the movie The Passion of the Christ, where you see Jesus, and the church says he's doing battle with the devil, right? The guy with the bald head and the black robe. No, ladies and gentlemen, no. That's the ego he's killing. That is the battle between him and the ego, and Jesus killing the ego in order for him to be fully enlightened. And that was his battle. And let me tell you, none of us are prepared for that right now. It is brutally hard, all right? Because the ego runs the show. And what I'm trying to do is to tell and let all of you know that you need to drop the ego. You need to get rid of him. You need to put him in his place and keep your foot on his face. We need to love one another. That's it. That's the only thing that matters here, is love. Because that is the only thing that is real. The rest of this is just a dream, an illusion, right? So these are some of the things that I wanted to clear up. But what else did I want to talk about? Oh, our sexual energy. Let's talk about that. The 2 keys, which is going to be a video that I'm going to do anyway. I'm just fired up from the conversation or the video that I just did with an interview, what I did. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go live. I know it wasn't planned. None of you were expecting it, but that's fine. I didn't care. We were not abandoned here. All right. When we decided this, right? When we decided that we wanted this fucked up illusion, this thing. So let's back up a little bit. When we're home, you guys know it as heaven, but it doesn't exist. It's simply home, where we come from. When God wants something from us, and you'll hear me call God Father, and I've explained why, but when God wants something from us, he comes to us, and we as a collective, meaning all of us back home, eternal multidimensional beings, when he wants something from us, we come together as a collective and we create it for him, just like we created the universe that we're living in, right? So we create that for him. And then one day we got the big idea, why can't I be the boss? I want to make the decisions, right? So the fact that we're sitting here right now, that you guys are listening to me, and whoever listens to this video later, is testament to how much your God loves you, how much Father loves you. He does not have to allow this to happen, period. Okay, at all. The fact that you are here in this physical realm, in this physical body, having this physical existence as a human being is paramount to the love that God has for you. So in that moment when we said, I want to call the shots, kind of like you know it in the Bible as Adam and Eve being kicked out of or tempted by the, no, it's us wanting to call the shots. So as we stood before Father, God, Source, all that is, one, right? Flipped them the double bird, said, I'm not you, I'm an individual. We created three things: fear, guilt, and the ego. Instantly. And you, all of you, still fear. You fear of, all of you are stuck in some jobs. I've worked 15 years. I've worked 25 years. You want to know why you're there? You're scared. You're scared of losing your house. You're scared of not losing your, not being able to feed your kids. You're living in fear. Every single person out here is living in fear. You know how many jobs I've had? Because we just talked about this. And I'm 54. I've probably had 30 jobs throughout my career. I cannot stand it. And this is what I was meant to do. This is what I was created to do, to come here to do. So we created three things. Then we all decided to go to sleep, right? The moment we all decided to go to sleep as a collective consciousness, all of us on this earth right now, boom, the universe was born. The Big Bang, as scientists call it, right? The universe was born. Why? We're gods, ladies and gentlemen, pure and simple. The direct manifestations of our Father. The universe is our creation, not God's. All right? And the fact that it says that God said after the seventh day he rested, it was just shown on NASA, what is it, 3 weeks ago, the formation of a new star, captured on film, watching it, the birth of a new star. How is that possible if he rested after the seventh day? There should be no stars forming. The universe should be formed. Well, God didn't create the universe. We're creating it right now. And the birth of that new star is happening because of all of our love. We send that out into the universe when we say, I love you, to our children, husbands, wives, best friends, whatever. And when I tell you that I love you all of that positive energy is going out into the non-physical, into the universe, and it's creating, it's expanding. The universe is alive, ladies and gentlemen. By that, it is consciously aware of itself. All right. And I'm going to take it further. The universe is consciously aware of all of you. It knows exactly where you are and who you are. Why? We're creating it. It's our consciousness. Oneness. Okay. So let's get that straight. Any particular meditation videos? I just went onto YouTube and I just typed in meditation techniques, and I just sit Indian style, and sometimes I sit like this. Here, I'll show you. Sometimes I'll sit like this. Most of the times I'll sit like this, and sometimes I'll sit like this, or sometimes I'll have my hands like this and my thumbs together, and I'll just sit here. I start to breathe real deep, 3 good breaths, and I'll just start to listen to my own breath, and then I'll have some meditation music on sometimes, just low, and I just get lost. I go through my mantra, I just get into a zone, and next thing I know, I'll open up my eyes, and I think it was this weekend, 45 minutes went by. It doesn't have to be that long, but it can be 10 minutes. But you're going within to find yourself, all right? And that is what Jesus was teaching. It was against the law 2 millennia ago. He was not allowed to be teaching what he was teaching. And he was simply executed for it. The being you know as Jesus. He was not allowed to be teaching it. The Sanhedrin and the Pharisees threw up a stink. He was doing things that he was not allowed by law to do. Therefore, he was executed as a common criminal. All right? Period. Anyway, going back to fear, and that's where fear came from. When we decided to step away from oneness, we became fearful. Why? We're left all that we have ever known from home. Source, oneness, all of us, you know Jesus intimately. You know your Father intimately. All right? Children choose their parents. Absolutely. I chose my parents. I chose the abuse that I stepped into. That was the reason I chose my parents, is because they were the best at the time and matched my energy where I could incarnate into. And I chose the difficulties in my life. I chose the abuse. I chose that life. And I chose to get lost in that pain. I chose to suffer. All right. I created hell for myself the rest of my life because I wouldn't let that pain go. Free will. It's a bitch. God's not going to come down here and say, hey, stop that thinking, or pick you up and say, come on now, come on, Jace, pat you on the butt and dust you off. No. Remember, we wanted this. All right. These were some of the things that I chose to go through. And I chose to get lost in the pain and the suffering, thus creating hell. I am the creator of my own world. The world that I see on a daily basis is the direct result of my thoughts, spoken or unspoken, pure and simple. And for the last year, 4 years, I have been changing them. And good things are coming. I can feel it. But we choose our parents. We choose our life. We choose the struggles that we want to face. Some of them are ugly. Some of them are hard. And what do we do as humans? We get stuck in that pain. We get stuck in the heartache. And that is where the free will is the hardest. We have to forgive those who have hurt us, even hurt us so stupendously hard. Being raped, being molested, all of this, right? Watching your child get murdered or raped. Horrific things, right? But they're not real. Right? It's never happened to you if you've been raped, right? You're still at home. Your avatar felt it. Your avatar experienced it, or went through that process. You have not. Like you have never felt water. Even though you take a shower every day, your avatar, this vehicle, felt it. You only experienced it through your avatar. Okay? For a lot, that's hard to understand, but that is the truth. All right? Wow. Thank you so much. I didn't know. Thank you so very much. I am deeply honored and grateful. Thank you so much. Wow. I am honored. So where was I going? You got me off track. I'm going to create the shirt just for you now. I'll have to look into that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. I am honored, deeply honored. So that is where fear came from. And we're all fearful. I'm not anymore, but you're all fearful. That's why you're stuck in jobs that you don't want. That's why you're stuck in a marriage that you don't want. God does not hold you accountable for any laws in this physical realm, and that includes marriage. If you want to, by a human law, bind yourself to another human, that's your problem, meaning marriage, okay? And this is kind of getting into what I'm talking about, twin flames, all right? God does not recognize marriage. God does not recognize any laws. And I will give you an example. Somebody said evil does exist, Jason. What about all these school shootings? All of these murders taking place. A couple of years ago, there was a Christmas parade here where a guy took off in his Bronco and ran over little children, old ladies, crushed them, killed them all. And I heard the sirens, I heard everything going. So I'm gonna lay this out once and for all. Cruelty and evil do not exist. The reason you believe in it is because you don't know who God is, what the other side is about. Cruelty and evil is a gift humanity gave itself, nothing more. The fact that you believe that it exists tells me that you believe God is a human being ready to smite all that have pissed him off. Again, you don't know who God is, source, all that is, Father. Again, and God answered your question. Did he allow the school shootings and those massacres to take place? The answer is yes. You're not going to like that answer. Why? God did not create this place, as I just stated with the universe. He did not create this place. And secondly, these are not his rules. He's abiding by what you want to experience, whether you like it or not. He answered you. He allowed those things to happen. He's not going to come down here and pat us on the butt and say, no, 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 come on. Nope. Again, we wanted this. We have to fix that. This is where I come in. I'm a teacher now. I know the truth. I'm being fed new things all the time. All right? We need to stop this. We need to love one another. We need to quit living in fear and come together as one. Not when a natural disaster happens, not when a plane goes down, not when a hurricane comes and kills a bunch of people. No, we need to do that on a daily basis, not when something bad happens. It's great that it happens that way, but we need to do it now. We're out of time. All right? We're out of time. Do you know how fast the decade is going to go by? I'm 54 years old. It felt like yesterday I was 18 or 15, 16 in 1984, 85. Okay, now it's 2024. Okay, we're running out of time. So, getting back to what I was talking about, because somebody asked me this again, with twin flames. I met my twin flame when I was married. Again, God does not hold you accountable to human laws. They don't exist for Father. The only thing that Father wants us to see, God, source, whatever you want to call him, wants to see us loving one another. It doesn't matter if you are in a same-sex relationship, means nothing. Those that are angered by it or curse you and hit you and do all those things, they're just scared. Period. Fear. Okay, God does not care. Why? I had bisexual experiences. Living according to the Bible, when I went to Catholic church and had to read that Bible for 2 years straight, cover to cover, become an altar boy and all this, I knew I was doomed. There was no coming back from that. All right? I was doomed. 40 years later, I'm dying, and I was accepted. I was loved unconditionally. I had done no wrong. All right? So whether you're in a same-sex relationship or having a same-sex experience, it's still love. None of you know what love is. You look at it as a relationship between a spouse or with your children. Yeah, that's an inkling of it. All right? Love is everything, and I will describe it. Meaning, there are some of you out there who love music. I'm a bass player. I love music. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That is a loving relationship, and therefore, it is the love of my life. Some of you like to garden or take walks. If you like to garden, that is a loving relationship, and therefore, it is the love of your life. Same thing with taking a walk or taking a hike. It's a loving relationship. Jesus mastered love when he was here. He loved everything. If he talked to a child, it was a loving relationship, and therefore the love of Jesus' life. Whether he was teaching, it was the love of his life. Jesus loved everything. And that is what I mean by love is everything. All right? Love is everything. And if you love a certain thing, then that is the love of your life, and therefore a loving relationship. It doesn't mean between two beings. That's okay too, but it is everything you do in your life needs to be a loving relationship. If it's not, you need to love it and accept it and say it's just not for me and move on. All right? And that's what I mean by love. None of you know what love is, or you have the wrong definition of love. Love is everything. And that's what I talk about when I say I love all of you. I love teaching. I love helping you. It is the love of my life. I will not stop. I will keep talking to you. I will keep guiding you, and I will keep you on the path that you are awakening to. To somebody that doesn't understand it, what I'm talking about, they'll call it blasphemy. If you want to remain in the dark, go remain in the dark. That is your free will. Love is everything. That is 100% correct. All right? And when I get up, when I played bass for 4 hours yesterday, it was the love of my life. I was in bliss all afternoon. It's the love of my life. You know, some like to go to the beach. That's the love of their life. And therefore a loving relationship. Everything you do and encounter in this physical world is a relationship of one way or another. And we are to love that. Even if it's a challenging one, it's still a relationship. You still have to make peace with it, no matter what it was. If somebody harmed you, you have to look at that relationship and forgive it. Forgive them. Love them. And then move on, because it is still a relationship. You have to do the work, ladies and gentlemen. You have to go within. Your pain, your suffering are the keys to your salvation. If you're suffering from depression, how did you become depressed? Well, it's this situation. You have to go back into that situation and relive it. Are you going to cry? Absolutely. I did. When I had to go back to that four-year-old little boy who was abused, and I had to relive that pain. And yes, I sat on this couch sobbing uncontrollably. You are so welcome, so very welcome. And I had to forgive my parents, and it still took me 4 years after my death to forgive my parents and to love them unconditionally. I forgave them for what they have done. But once that is done, I felt the non-physical come in and whoop, rip that dark energy right out of me. It was like a hand coming in, and it just ripped it right out. That's how you know that you have forgiven somebody. And it is truly liberating. It is mind-blowing liberating. You have to face your fears, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not, you will incarnate in your next incarnation, and that what you didn't face in this incarnation will come back to you tenfold. And in the next incarnation, if you don't want to face it, it will come back to you harder and harder until you face it. You have to face it, and you have to defeat it, and you have to forgive. All right? And you will, it's called the ripple effect. Some of you may have heard this, right? So as we're in this timeline right now, the ripple effect is simply by me forgiving my parents and accepting their love and forgiveness. That love went out not only into the universe, the non-physical, right? It also went out into my other incarnations and healed those problems that I didn't face. It's the ripple effect. The more I love, the more I forgive, the more I'm empathetic, and the more I help all of you and love all of you, that is changing all of my past lives from all the things that I didn't do, forgive, or whatnot, right? So that situation that I created here is now gone in my other incarnations. The ripple effect. You are changing those lives that you have once led. So when you incarnate back again, that life will be much easier. That problem won't be there, right? And that's what the ripple effect is. It's twofold. It's sending that positive love and forgiveness out into the universe, helping the universe continue to grow and expand. And in the same time, that ripple effect is going out into all of your other lives. That love that I am sharing with all of you and showing those examples is changing my other incarnations. So when I incarnate next, which will not be in linear form, my next incarnation could be 500 BC. Okay, I may have things that I need to tidy up in that timeline, and I will fix it. But while I have and began to live in love for these last 4 years, and will continue to move on and advance and grow in vibration, it is fixing all of those other timelines. Because everything is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. I told you, time does not exist. All of my other lives are taking place right now. Jesus's execution, his crucifixion, is taking place right now. Okay? That's what Jesus said in the Bible. Don't worry about yesterday. You can't change it, right? But what he did tell you is it doesn't exist. You can't go back 5 minutes from now and say, show me that. It's gone. Don't worry about tomorrow. It hasn't happened. Why? It doesn't exist. So he said, live right now. Live right now. And it is what I am telling you, is to live your best moments every second of the day. When you get caught with the ego and he's feeding you negative shit, that you're unworthy, that you're not good enough to be with a good partner, that you're not worthy of being made love to, tell the fucking ego to fuck off. Because that negative energy that's being fed, that you start to believe in, is now going out into the non-physical. It's going to mingle with all that other bad shit, and it's going to come back to you tenfold. And that's why you hear the saying, why does all this bad shit keep fucking happening to me? Why? What did I do? Why do you hate me? Okay, that's why. Your thoughts create your reality. And that is the ripple effect. That's also affecting your other lives. So, and I tell you to remain in love no matter what happens. Forgive them. With all your heart, forgive them. And then let that pain, let that situation go. Say, non-physical, take that from me. I don't want it anymore. And they will take it from you. It is. Absolutely. When I meditate, he'll start his shit and I'll turn around. Fuck off. The non-physical is loving it because you are taking control of your destiny, your powers. You are putting your foot on the ego's face and you are keeping him down where he belongs. You can't kill him yet. We're not as powerful as Yeshua. And even after his enlightenment, when he was plunged under the water by John, it still took him a year or so to kill the ego. Okay, that is how strong the ego is. And it knows when you are trying to reach yourself, to reach God, to reach oneness. And it will fight for its very existence. And you have to kill it. It can be done, but it takes work. And that's what I mean. You have to do the work. You came here into this physical realm to work on you. You all come first. Period. End of subject. You come first. I'll tell you what comes first in my life. I come first. I came here to work on me. Okay? Yeah, same thing with my ego, except I've been keeping them real low. I come first. Not my children. I don't have a spouse at the moment. And not God. Okay? And if you all know what oneness means, I and the Father are one, right? That means we're all God. We're all gods. Period. So I come first, then God, then my children, then if I had a spouse, my spouse would come in that order, and it's non-negotiable. All right? I come first. I came here to work on me, and I have done it, and I'm going to continue to do it. All right? Good things are happening. I'm seeing many of you have watched my other video that I just put about repeating numbers a couple weeks ago, right? Angel numbers, right? 777, 1111, 1010, 1212, 999, 888, 777. Those are all direct communication, ladies and gentlemen, from your guides. They are talking to you. They're telling you you are on the right path. Don't deviate, no matter how hard. Like a couple weeks ago, when I was telling you my mantra, how has so much abundance come into all areas of my life? But in the same time I said that, I was $180 negative in my account. But I'm still telling myself that I'm abundant. I am reprogramming my subconscious. And they're telling me, you're on the right path. Don't stop. Good things are coming. What you are asking for is on its way, and they're starting to trickle in. All right. And again, it's the ripple effect. What you do now here in this timeline matters immensely. It is affecting your other lives. It is affecting the universe. The universe is growing because of our love for one another. It may not seem like it now, but it's absolutely true. All right. So getting back to what I was saying, by absolutely, it's a divine number. It is a divine number, and it is extremely important that they're telling you you're on the right path. What you're thinking is where you need to be, and keep at it. I'm seeing a lot of 777s, 222s, 333s, 4444s, 1111, 1010, 1212. As I was giving the interview, I looked up and it was 111. It is happening on a consistent basis for me. It is them saying, you are right where you need to be. You are on the right path. And what you are manifesting is about to come to fruition. Do not stop. So, getting back to the soulmate thing and the twin flame, God does not hold you. Now, when I met my twin flame, I was married at the time. All right. And what a twin flame is I don't like using this term because we're not souls, but it's, for all of you, it's the best way to describe it. When God created my twin, he took one soul and he split it in half, kind of like what you call identical twins, right? That egg was split and identical. So my twin flame is a woman. We are deeply and profoundly in love. We met when we were married. Why? So you all know it as an affair. God did not look at it that way when I went home. It was exactly what I was created to do. But yet, both met when we were married. And it was an instant connection beyond anything I could possibly ever tell you. On a level now that I know was of that of home. And yes, fell madly in love. We are still in love. And we had a beautiful connection. And then I tried to run during that connection. You always have a chaser and a runner, or just a runner. I ran first. She tracked me down, and then in 2014, she ran, and we have been separated since. But I can feel her, and she can feel me. And I know right now that she is going through a divorce. She is going through a dark night of the soul. She is suffering, and I can feel her suffer. And it's heartbreaking to me, but it is something that needs to be done. So why do we meet when we're married? Because we meet at the design time that we created that meeting to take place. Meaning, I've already had kids, I've already had an education, I've already had the family life, I've already done this. Yes, I ran from the love. Absolutely. I have no idea what was happening to me. It was such a profound love that I yearned for her on every level possible. It's a missing that I can't even begin to describe to you. It is my mirror. She is me. I am her. When I look at her, I see me. She feels what I feel. I feel what she feels. And she says, I don't know how you know me so well. Now I know, that she is my twin flame. She is my mirror. And so when I ran from her, like she ran from me right now, and she used all these excuses that I have a family in this. I get it, but I know that she's going to return. And I can feel her. Beautiful. I was only doing it because I had an interview, and I was like, you know what? I'm going live. There's things that I just need to discuss that people want to comment on one video about World War III that I need to get other things out to clarify things. And I'm glad that you showed up. I didn't, it was just impromptu. I got done with the interview, started the live session, and here it is. So yes, we met when we were married. We had a beautiful, loving affair, a deep affair. And if any of you have listened to my near-death experience, when I talk about this person, say, I won't mention her name, but I said, God, please don't take her from me. Please let me hold her, let me smell her, let me make love. This is who I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is my twin flame. And that is when my near-death experience happened. I was expressing my love for her when, boom, I'm out of my body. I'm at the top of the ceiling. Why? It was meant to be. She is my other half. She is coming back. All right. But she needs to go and technically suffer. She needs to see the truth. She's just running from it. Like, what is that called? Fear. Fear of the unknown. Well, you came here to work on that. You came here to experience more than just what you're experiencing. You have to break out of the rut. You have to break out of that routine. You came here to learn. That's all this place is. It's school. There's no bad. So God is not holding me responsible because I decided to bind myself by a human law to say marriage is sacred. It's not. Okay? And God is not holding you to that marriage. Didn't hold Jesus' marriage sacred either to Mary Magdalene. Okay? We were designed to meet each other at the exact moment we did. And all of you, or some of you, may have had that experience. Some of you may be married to your soulmate. You feel a very strong connection to them, right? You may have your differences and all of that. That is a soulmate, which is different. You have a soul family. They have just decided to come in and play this part for you, right? As a soulmate, okay? As a wife. Say, okay, I'll be your wife. God cannot belong to somebody else, right? They're just playing a role play. Like if any of you are married watching this, when your wife puts on a pair of garter belt and stockings and a cute little outfit, she's role playing for you, right? Doesn't mean that's who she is. She's not a naughty nurse or a doctor or whatever. She's role playing for you. We're all role playing for one another here. But when it comes to a twin flame, again, I don't like using the term soul, but that soul, you as a being, was split into two by Father, mirroring each other, identical twins. All right? You will find each other in every incarnation. You will be together. And it is a love that is indescribable. Okay? Even if you tried to describe it with your children, that love that you have for your children, it supersedes that. It is unbelievable. All right? So that is, and I don't want people to think, well, I met my twin flame and I was married. Good. God is saying the same thing. Good. You did exactly what you were created to do. Love, make love. The non-physical, all right, home, they want to see us mating. Okay? And it's going to be different from what you hear from the fucking Catholic Church, right? They want to see us mating. Why? It's love. It's unconditional love. You are sharing your love intimately with another being that wants to experience that with you. It's beautiful. Holding yourself accountable because of a worthless piece of paper that God does not give a flying fuck about is beautiful. Quit beating yourself up. Love one another. That's the highest frequency there is. Love. Unconditional love. That is why they want to see us mating. It's love, which is the highest frequency, which is going to get us out of this shithole mess that we put ourselves in. I found your channel the day of the wake and I've followed it ever since. Everything about you resonates with my journey. I love you. Oh, I love you so very much. Thank you so much. I am so honored. I am. And that's why I started this channel. It's for all of you. It's not for me. I know all of this stuff and I keep getting it. I'm sorry, guys, but I got to take this shirt off. I am burning up. It's getting warm out now. So yes, don't think that because I, met, we met when we were both married, that it was bad. It wasn't. In the moment of my transition, begging God not to die, it was her, my twin flame, that I was talking about. And just like that, Father said, okay, wake up. And my near-death experience happened. And all of that knowledge was given to me. So don't look at what the church has done, because what they have done have crippled you. They have chopped off your feet. The church knows what Jesus was teaching, all right? They knew that God, our sexual energy, is our way home. And some of you in the female vehicles here will know that when you have been made love to in the most intimate ways, the most beautiful way, right? With passion, with love, with talking, with kissing, and you have that orgasm, right? And your body, your eyes roll up to the back of your head, you arch your back and you let out a grunt, right? And all of a sudden you're gone, right? You don't know where you've been, but I'm telling you where you've been. You just went home and connected with your higher self and with Father. And when you awaken and open up your eyes, you're a wreck. You're sitting there trembling, your legs are shaking, and you're reaching around for your partner just to hold them and feel skin on skin. I know some of you have had that experience. And that is what Jesus was teaching. It is a direct shot home to God, to Father, to the non-physical. And that is why the church doesn't want you having sex. They called it a sin. Why? They know if you start having sex and having these abilities and finding your way home, they're out of a job. Kaput. Done. Right? So they called sex a sin. Masturbation is sin. Wrong. Masturbation is just as beautiful. Make love to yourself. Love yourself. Love your body. It's beautiful. But yet when you're raising your kids, right, what did you do to them when you saw them just playing on the couch and they're rubbing themselves? You yelled at them. You shamed them into compliance and told them that it was a filthy, disgusting thing. It's not. It's beautiful. But you were taught that way. See the indoctrination? See what the church is doing? It's beautiful, and it's wrong to do that to your children. It was wrong for it to be done to me and to all of you. It's a way home. Remember, they're in a new body. This is all new to them again, right? They chose to come here again and have this physical existence. So that's all new to them. We don't need to shame them. It's beautiful, pure, and exactly what Father wants to see. They are loving themselves intimately, and it's a beautiful thing. That is why we cannot go into the New Age. We've been indoctrinated and shamed and victimized. We cannot do this to our children anymore. So all of you who are listening in the future, new parents or a parent that might be here who is pregnant, do not shame your children. Do not. You let them be. Let them explore themselves. Let them love themselves. Just because you were shamed, you've got to stop that right now and end it and know that they are doing exactly what they were created to do. Love and explore. This new world is all of theirs again. All right? It's beautiful, and it's given to you by your Father, by God, your sexual energy. And any of you know anything about energy, it cannot be destroyed, right? So if any of you are married, right, and let's say your spouse quit, putting out, right, for whatever reason, and, what happens? Who are you fucking? Well, you're fucking somebody because it ain't me, right? That energy is going to go somewhere else. It can't be destroyed. So what are you going to see? You're going to see a fight, an argument, hate, verbal abuse. Why? Your sexual energy will come out no matter what. All right? It cannot be destroyed. And that's why you see fights. That's why you see people accusing their partner of cheating or doing something. And they may not. They just may not be in the mood, which is fine. But either way, that energy is still going to come out. It has to. It cannot be destroyed. So love one another, make love. So when me and my twin flame found each other, we found each other when we were married, the way we were supposed to. We had accomplished everything that we wanted to: school, education, having children, being married. So by us meeting when we were married meant nothing to God. What he wanted to see was what took place: unconditional love, the desire to meet and be with each other, the desire to mate. And we did exactly that. And it was beautiful. Absolutely. So when I went home, when I told you, I had done nothing wrong. Nothing. But the guilt and shame that I felt from being indoctrinated by the church and the victimization of what I, was told not to do through my sexual energy, I felt guilty and ashamed. And the more I did, the more I was loved. And the more Father told me, nope, you did nothing wrong. So that is how powerful a twin flame connection is. Some of you have experienced it. Some of you might be the runner. Some of you might be the one that have cleared up all that dark energy and came to terms with it and are now waiting for your twin to come. And they will come back. You will reunite. Sometimes it may take a couple, 2 or 3 times, but you will be with one another. And I feel her. I know what's going to take place with me. I can feel her struggle. I know she's going to go through a divorce. I can feel it. And she is struggling. I will not help her with this. I can't. This is something she needs to face. And she will and she is facing it right now. And that is what we came here to do. We came here to face these difficult things. If all we know is love, if we stayed on the easy path, what are we going to learn? Nothing. It's like, you teaching your baby not to touch the stove when it's red hot. You can tell her all you want until the first time she lays her hand on that stove. I guarantee you she'll never do it again, right? She's going to find out the hard way that being burned sucks, right? So we come here to learn these things. And yes, when we reincarnate into a new body, you're not new. The being that is inside this isn't the new being. Just the body was new 54 years ago, right? Well, I came here to pick up and learn the things that I didn't learn in the last life. And that's not karma, ladies and gentlemen. Karma is simply the act of doing. It's not, well, you were a mean motherfucker last night and last week and in your last life, so you're suffering this. No, that is not what karma is. Karma is simply the act of doing. So what your karma is, this is all our karma right now, ladies and gentlemen. So what is the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate? A twin flame, as I said, is, I don't want to use the term soul, but for all of you, is one being, all right, that is split into two, like an identical twin baby, okay? Your soulmate is someone who is like your bestie, your best friend at home. Like you have a bestie here in the physical world. You may call him your BFF, right? Well, that is what a soulmate is. And they decided to incarnate with you in your life to take place in all of these grand experiences, right? It may be your wife, it may be your husband, it may be a child, all right? But that is what your soulmate is. It's just a bestie that is there with you and will do things for you and with you throughout all of your incarnations. Your twin flame is the creme de la creme up there, that you are so close and so tight at home that it is inconceivable to be without one another, even at home. And therefore, you're joined as one, and then you are split in half, thus mirroring one another. You are a mirror. Like when you look into the mirror, when you get out of the shower, that is your twin flame staring back at you. So when she is standing in front of me and we're making love, that is my mirror. That's me. And that is the difference. That is unique, and it is a very special thing to have. It doesn't happen very much, but they're out there. So that is the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate. And yes, you have your soul family back at home, and they're waiting for you. They know the exact trillionth of a second that you are coming home. You guys are asking some good questions. I love it. And you guys, what else you got for me? I met my twin flame at age 16. We had a profound connection, but circumstances kept us apart in this life. We spoke off and on throughout the years. Oh, hon, I am so sorry. That has got to be truly heartbreaking, honey. I couldn't even imagine that happening, being without her. I would be utterly devastated. Sweetie, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. I I'm at a loss. That is a loss that I hope that I never have to experience, hon. I am so sorry. You have my heartfelt condolences on that. But I want you to know that that being, him, is waiting for you and will be there for you when you return home, and you will reunite, and that love will be there. It won't be in physical form. You know, there's no kissing, hugging, making love, touching, all of that doesn't exist. Only in this physical realm or through these avatars can we experience that. Yeah, your twin, like I said, your twin flame and soulmate is completely different. It's a completely different connection, one that only you and I can understand. That depth of love, that depth of need, because it is a need, and that depth of your sexual energy when you were together was beyond passion. It was intense, and it was almost like your skin was on fire when they touched you. You know, it was an unstoppable force of love. And I am so sorry that your twin is gone. It always take years. You will, yeah. Generally, you will unite later on in life. You're so welcome, sweetie. I, when I begged God not to die to take her from me, it was in that moment that mine happened, my NDE. So I can't even begin to imagine that loss within you, and I am heartbroken over that for you. I wish I could give you a hug. I wish I could just give you a big hug. But you will always meet your twin flame later on in life, 30s, 40s, because you guys said, okay, we got to get all of this done first, have a family, go to college, whatever. But you will generally meet when you're married, and you will, as the physical world says, have an affair. And God doesn't give a shit about a law binding you together in a make believe world. So you will meet, you will, you know, have that connection. I ran first, I fixed it, then she took off and ran, but I feel her coming back, and we will be reunited very, very soon. Very soon. I get your text. Where are you texting me, hon? I, hon, I did not get any text. Oh, thank you so much. Oh man, wow, look at that. I'm married to my twin flame. However, he's 78 and I'm 34. I am. Yeah, it's a. Um, Diana, I did not get your text, hon. Where are you texting me from? Yeah. Anyway, okay. So, I understand, hon, where you're coming for with that, with your twin. Age does not matter. It is a profound connection on such an intimate level that it can only be experienced. Um, it can't be really explained. I know what you're talking about, but others, Um, they don't, and it's a rare and it's a very beautiful thing. And I wish you all nothing but the best in that. Love one another deep. Make love every time you can. Doesn't matter whether, and I know this is going to sound nuts too, but I don't care. God doesn't care. I don't care if you're out in public. I don't care if you're on a park bench. Make love. Wear a sundress. Wear shorts. Make love. Doesn't matter where you're at. In a car, in a, in a park, at a bar. Doesn't matter. Go outside. Make love. It's the non-physical wants to see us mating. And with your twin, I would, highly encourage the same thing. Hold on to that time, because once this timeline is over, there is no changing it. Okay? You cannot change it. You can only change it through the ripple effect. So, and if I don't know if this is my second or third incarnation into this timeline, to me, it seems like the first. How can you donate to you? I think go to my YouTube, because you're watching this on YouTube, right? And then you would just hit the little money sign. So the live stream should be there. Yeah, there it is. And then it says thanks. It's a heart with a little money in it, a little money sign in it. I'm sorry your mom transitioned home. Aw. And I miss her so much. And what can you tell me what it is when we miss a loved one? It is simply love, hon. You're not missing your mom. So if you're on the YouTube screen, I don't know if I can show it to you. The button all the way over here, there's a little heart with money in it. And if you press that, it will give you the option to
you keep deleting slot games one after another?
To donate.
Another? Well, there's one game that you won't want to delete.
Yeah, that's the only way I can find it. Because somebody did here. Duffy. Oh, McDougal. Yeah, beautiful. As you can see there, she donated. So, beautiful. Just keep that. You keep that going. Just keep that going. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to help people. They want to donate, and I'm not sure exactly how to do that. We'll do this. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get you guys in here. And I just found out a way to do that. But here we go. So you guys see that link down there that I put? If you want to join me in the studio, copy that link and put it into your browser, and then I will see you come into the studio, and I will invite you in there. Yeah, check it out. I don't know. I just saw it there for a second, and it was there. Because I'm not in YouTube right now. I'm actually in the StreamYard video. So I'm not on YouTube to see it. There, somebody knows how. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, guys. So click on the $ next to chat. Is that in YouTube? I've never donated to myself, so I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. But anyone see that StreamYard? So if you copy that link and you put it up into your browser and like Yahoo, you will be able to come into the studio with me and ask a couple questions. I'll stay on for like another half an hour, 40 minutes. I might have to change locations though, guys, because I am running out of juice on my iPad. So bear with me while I change directions here. Sorry, guys. My iPad's going to die. There we go. All right. Hi, guys. So yes, YouTube, where I am writing at the moment, right side of the box, text there is a $. There you go. And I'm not in YouTube because I'm actually in the studio here on my well, future time, you'll always have your twin flame. Once Father splits you and you become your twin, you will forever be a twin flame. You will see each other and meet each other in each and every one of your incarnations until you become enlightened. In that moment, when you become enlightened in your last incarnation, you will never incarnate again. There will never be another physical existence for all of eternity unless, Father says that it's okay. But up until that point, you will always meet your twin. And that's what I mean by the ripple effect, okay? So that when what I am doing here, my love for all of you and how I think every day, no matter what situation I am in, which is love, that ripple effect goes out and it affects my other lives and it fixes those problems that I had back then. So it is very important for you guys to get into this concept of love, to love one another, to forgive, to remain in love, no matter what situation that is in, So it's important. It means everything. So, and that's what I mean by, that's what I mean by that. So if anybody wants to come into the studio, there's the link down on the bottom. Use it. We can, I can have you in here and we can have it would be like a one-on-one, without a paid session. So what else did I want to talk about? Oh yes, many of you weren't here when I first started talking about. I get a lot of shit for eating meat and being told to go vegan. So that's never going to happen. Never. Something has to die in order for us to survive. Whether you pull an apple off a tree, you just murdered it and killed it. Oh, yeah. You're going to tell me what to do when you miss a loved one. Your loved one is always with you. They're just in another dimension right next to you. You're not vibrating at that frequency to see them, but they're sitting right next to you on the couch. They're standing next to you in the room. They're watching you sleep. They're with you 24/7. It's just a different dimension. We are in a low vibrational, materialistic world right now. We exist on a much higher level. That's why we need these bodies to get around here. So your loved one, hon, is always with you. They are never away from you. You just can't see them or hear them because you're not vibrating at that frequency. What frequency do you need to be at? Love. When you begin to love and live in love and forgiveness, you raise that vibration. I see half-body apparitions walk through my bedroom. Why? I'm vibrating at their frequency. I am at a much higher frequency now. I can see those. I can feel them. My body will start to itch. When I start to meditate and really go within, I know I'm getting there because I begin to itch. I can feel them around me. So they're always with you. Always. You are never alone. Never alone. You are surrounded by love on an epic scale, more than you could ever possibly imagine. So just continue to love. They don't want you to be sad. They want you to love. They want you to know that they're okay. They're way okay, you know, and they want you to be happy. They want you to have a life full of abundance and love. And that only comes from your positive thinking, your mindset. Remember, your mind creates your reality, your thoughts, spoken or unspoken. So it creates your reality. And they want you to know that. They want you to live in that higher vibration so they can communicate with you. You may be able to wake up in the middle of the night and see them standing there. You may hear them. You may see them in an astral projection. But they're with you all the time, 24/7. They're never far from you, ever. Come on, somebody, come into the studio. Copy that link and put it in your browser. Let's see if we can get you in here. What else did I? Oh yeah, going back to the vegan thing. Whether you pull a carrot out of the ground, an onion, a cabbage, asparagus, you've killed it. If you put it on your counter, it's going to rot. Flies are going to come. It's going to decay. You killed it. You took its life force. You took its soul. That being went home. You have to eat it to survive. It is no different than me eating meat or fish. Today I had salmon on a bed of white rice for lunch. That's all I'm going to eat today. Something has to die. It's barbaric. I hate it. You know, I cannot wait for this species to advance to the point of where our bodies will then be taken care of by the non-physical, like higher advanced, like the Pleiadians, the Anunnaki. They're all being taken care of and nourished through the non-physical, their bodies. They don't eat. Yeah, because they're there with you. They want you to know that you're okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with eating meat. I don't eat pork anymore. It doesn't sit well with me. But steak. I took my daughter out Saturday. She wanted to go to sushi. We went out and had sushi. A fish had to die. Jesus ate fish. Jesus ate lamb. Okay, it's a fact. We have to eat. Get over it, people. Something has to die in order for us to live. Period. And that's that. I will never go vegan I love eating healthy salads, nuts, fruits, vegetables. It's all good. Something still has to die in order for us to maintain and survive. Without it, we die. And to me, it's barbaric. Now, what I will advocate for, and that is the humane treatment of animals. I am disgusted by it. It is sickening, and it needs to stop. We need, again, it comes down to love. We need to love those animals. There she is. Wow. I am I am beyond honored. Wow. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. I love you all so very much. And that's going to be this week's video for you guys, you know. So this will get edited out by my editor, and it'll get put back out for others that didn't pop in and see it. But I am deeply honored. Thank you so very, very much. That will thank you, sweetie. There's no worries. I'm a teacher, and I have accepted my new role as a teacher, you know. I'm a very private person, especially when I got divorced in 2015. I really began to work on myself. And then 5 years later, in those 5 years between 15 and 20, I really went through some horrible times. And then I died, right? And then my whole life changed. And my whole life, when I was, you know, somebody would ask me a question, you know, you should really, when you go to college, you should be a teacher. You can really explain things to the point of where even, you know, the hardest core that wouldn't understand, they get it. You explain it so well. Like, I'm not teaching. When I went into college, I have a broad field social science degree, a history degree, and a sociology degree. My history, the dean of the history department was like, Jason, would you please teach? And I'm like, no. I have no desire to stand in front of anybody and teach. I couldn't even talk to my classmates and give a speech without my voice cracking and wanting to faint. Now I'm here talking to the world, and I have no problem with it. Well, that changed, right? But what I'm saying is I'm a deeply private person. I have very little friends. I keep to myself. I do everything by myself. And this was a big change, a big change, huge. And I know I'm going to be up on the world stage. I know I'm going to be talking in front of hundreds and thousands of people at a time, traveling the world. I see it. I feel it. I know it's coming. The confirmation of the numbers, what I'm seeing on my YouTube channel and stuff popping up, my manifestations are coming. And never in a million years would I've said that my passion and career would be a teacher. And here I am in front of all of you doing exactly that, talking about and putting those truths out there that have been hidden from you by the church, by society. You know, there's a reason why 1% of the world's population holds the money. It's meant to keep you in a low vibrational state, to keep you suffering, to keep you in negative thoughts, thus lowering your vibration and keeping you there. You know, those that, you know, that are suffering, they want the top notch. They want, you know, the top shelf, like in a liquor store. You know, you can't afford the top shelf vodka, so you get the shitty stuff, right? Because you can't afford it. Well, those that are suffering, that are low vibrational, they want to do the same. They want to reach out and come up and grab a hold of you because they want that energy. They feel good around you. They're like, what is this? This is like, you know, a magic potion or something. Well, you know, it's unfortunate, like people with me that don't do that. Because I can't, Nancy, thank you so much, honey. Because I have to protect my energy. You all have to do the same thing too. So, you have to protect your energy. And I'll give you an example. Say, you know, for you beautiful female vehicles out there, right? You're in a relationship, but it's an abusive relationship, right? He beats you, he hits you, he calls you names, you know, sex isn't good, you know, just an abusive relationship. And you stay there because why? You know, in your mindset, you're thinking, nobody loves me, nobody cares, you know. And then you always, you know, you finally break free from it. But the next person you meet is what? It's the same kind of guy. right? Abusive, mentally, physically, sexually, possibly, right? And you say to yourself out loud, why the fuck does this shit why can't I find a good man? Why can't I find somebody like this guy, right? That's your energy. Energy attracts the same like energy, okay? You're not going to attract a top shelf energy guy like myself, okay? Because I'm way above you energy wise. I will not come down. So you're attracting what you're putting out. And if you're putting out shitty energy, low vibrational crap, then that's what you're going to attract, right? No matter how much you love, you don't love yourself enough to work on yourself, to advance yourself, to raise above, to raise that energy. So you're only going to attract that type of person into your life. And that's why you get stuck in those ruts, and it's hard to break free from them. But and that's what I mean. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. You come first. It goes against everything you have been ever taught from society, from mom and dad, from grandma and grandpa, and especially from the church. The church says you are to sacrifice, you are to suffer. Wrong. You are to sacrifice nothing. Period. You are not to sacrifice your marriage, your unhappiness, your anything. You are not to lay down and let somebody rape you and murder you and kill you. You are to fight for your existence. And if that means that person or that being gets killed, so be it. You are not held accountable for that. You are not to sacrifice anything in your life, in this existence, in this timeline. You come first. And that is directly from your Father, from Source. You are not to sacrifice. And that is what the church says. You are to sacrifice. Bullshit. Wrong. Again, that's meant to keep you down, to keep you low. You are a worthy and an unworthy sinner. Worthless. Barely able to be saved by God. Bullshit. It's all meant to keep your vibrational state low. Is if we all rise above and we're all at that higher energy, that top brass that holds that money, they don't hold it anymore. We all do now, right? You have to rise. You have to change your ways of thinking. And by that, I mean you come first. You say, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of being very wealthy. I am worthy of traveling the world. I am worthy of taking my children across the planet. I am worthy. Why? I am God. I am a God, and what I want comes to me, pure and simple. And that's what Jesus was teaching. Wake up and realize who the fuck you are. Wake up. The church holds nothing on you. Nothing in this physical world is real. Wake up and realize who you are. It's a beautiful message. And that is the message that I am teaching all of you and all those that want to listen. That, again, like I said in the beginning, that, you're researching an NDE. Why? Because 1 and 1 isn't adding up to 2 anymore, right? You've been indoctrinated by the Bible, by the church, whatever religion it is, but yet you're hearing people that were atheists, drug addicts, abusers, murderers, have these near-death experiences, and they all go home and they all explain, the truth. They're all different because you as a being are different on a different path. So therefore, your near-death experience, like mine, is different from others, but yet all of them incorporate the exact same things. Why? Because we're all one. We're just on a different path, going on a different adventure. That's all. Right? And those that constitute a hellish experience, that believe in the devil, if you have to equate the devil with something, what do we talk about? Fuck off, ego. The ego's not your friend. So, if you want to equate the devil with somebody, then the ego's the devil. Doesn't have your best interest in hand in any way, shape, or form. The ego attacks, condemns, and judges. His 3 modes of attack, right there. Condemns, attacks, and judges. That's all he does. That's not loving. Ego's got to go. So, You are to sacrifice nothing. If you are unhappy in your marriage, leave. God's not going to pat you on the butt and say, "Come on now, hon, let's go. It's time. You've learned what you needed to learn here. Move on." Oh, my kids, they're not your kids. Okay? My children, my daughters are not my daughters. They're God's. They're pretending to be my kids. In my last life, or my last incarnation, my daughter could have been my father, and I was their child. Okay? You see the role-playing effect that we're doing here? They're not your children. So to say, "Oh, I'm staying for my children." No, that's the worst thing you can do. You're showing them that they're unworthy of love, to go out and conquer the world and to find their dreams, to find their passions. No, if you are unhappy, leave. Leave in a loving way. Don't be misogynistic and abusive and all that. Simply leave. I love you. I'll always love you, but I can't be with you anymore. We'll come together for the kiddos and move on. If you're unhappy in your job, and I just talked to somebody, I've had 30 jobs throughout my life. I cannot stand it. I will not be in a place I feel unwanted. I'll simply leave. Bye. If you're unhappy in your job, leave. The reason you're staying there is fear, right? Oh, how will I pay my rent? How will I put food on the table? They'll take my car away. Blah, 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 blah. It's fear that keeps you in your job for 16, 18, 20, 25 years. And you think it's, oh, I did such a great job. No, you stayed there because of fear. Nothing more. And that's why, people say, well, you're untrustworthy. You're unworthy. Look at your job career. So, look at all the things I've learned in that time. And now, the culmination of that was my death. And here I am doing something that people told me to do when I was in grade school and high school, to be a teacher. Wow, it only took me 40 years and to die to figure that out. But if you're unhappy in any aspect of your life, you need to fix it. The non-physical is not going to do it for you. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel bad. Don't feel any of it. Fix it. You come first, period. Not your children, not God, not your spouse, not your grandparents. You come first. You came here to work on yourself and the things that you need to accomplish to become enlightened. You come first. And that's that, and some people don't like that. I know the church will tell you, well, that's bullshit, and the same thing with suicides. Suicides go home, period. End of subject. Everybody goes home. That means, yes, Adolf Hitler is home. Joseph Stalin is home. John Wayne Gacy is home. Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, all home. Everybody goes home. A lot of people don't want to hear that. They think that there's a human being, God, up there that said, no, that was good, that was bad. There is no good or bad, right or wrong. It doesn't exist. This is a make-believe world, and we're just dreaming. So we are experiencing that dream through our higher selves. Our higher selves are dreaming, and this vehicle, this male vehicle, is projecting that dream out in front of all of you. You're doing the same thing. You're at home. Your vehicle is projecting what you're seeing right now. We're projectors from what we are experiencing back home. That's all that's taking place. And you have to fix that if you're unhappy. All of you do. Because we're all stuck. Absolutely. But when you incarnate again, hon, you will incarnate not in a linear form like from left to right, right? Your next incarnation may be 10,000 BC or 5,000 or 4,000, or you may incarnate in the year 50 AD. But you will come back and incarnate into that life that you need to touch up on some things that you didn't touch up or finish before you transitioned home in that life. But you are going to incarnate again. Absolutely. And in that life, you may be, in this incarnation, you may be female. Next incarnation, you may be in the male vehicle. The only reason you're in a female vehicle right now is because that's what you needed to accomplish what you need to in this incarnation. And only you can do that. I can't do it. Whatever you got going on here, only you can do it. Nobody else on this planet can do it. Only you can. And you need to do it in a female vehicle. That's it. So when you incarnate next, your last incarnation, say if it was 50 BC, you may come back as a Roman general or a Roman soldier, right? But if that ripple effect take place, right, and you are loving and so on and so forth, the challenges that you overcame here will no longer be in that timeline, right? So your timeline will be getting easier and easier. And that's the whole idea of love. That ripple effect will start to decrease all the bullshit that you've got to go through in your next incarnation. So your life matters here. You're just in a different dimension. Like I said, the Earth is traveling in another dimension right now. It is upgrading itself, Gaia, and we are as well into the 5D consciousness, right? We are becoming a much more intelligent species, and we're going to be eating less. We're going to become smarter. AI. I know all of you don't want to hear it, but AI is going to launch us in the new world, in the golden age. It's going to launch us into unbelievable places. Stuff like cancer or Alzheimer's or AIDS, incurable diseases, will be nothing more and cured like the common cold. There will be no more death. There will be, I didn't say death, but suffering. All of that we're going to be living in the golden age of love and peace and health and oneness. It's truly going to be an amazing thing. But yes, we are ascending into a different dimension, a different higher frequency. Absolutely. Yep. So would we incarnate into that? No, we're going to go back into and clean up the mess in our previous lives. We cannot incarnate into the new world because of our victimization and indoctrination that we've been subjugated to. We cannot. So all of those, if World War III happens and there happens to be stragglers left over from like me or you, they will not be accepted into the new communities. They will be an outcast. They won't be murdered or killed, but they will end up dying because they won't have the resources to take care of themselves. They will not be allowed in. We cannot be there because of the abuse that we have been subjugated to. So people think that you incarnate in linear form. You do not. And I can guarantee you, most of us here, or a lot of us, have incarnated with the being you know as Mary Magdalene. Okay? She wasn't Mary Magdalene at the time, but you just know her in that one because of Jesus. But we have incarnated with that being. I'm pretty sure I have. Right? Mary is now enlightened, and she is at home with Yeshua. Their relationship is not a physical one where you're touching, kissing, making love, all of that, but their love for one another is still absolute and supreme. They love each other like a twin flame love. It is they adore each other, and they will never be apart. But Jesus plays a particular role in the non-physical, and that is love and guidance of us and teaching. Make no mistake about it. When you speak to Jesus, he hears you word for word. He feels it. He knows you're talking to him. He knows what you're trying to do. Better yourself, better your spiritual growth. And he is right there with you. He will not come down into the lower vibration. Will not. You have to rise and meet him. You have to rise and meet your higher self. You have to rise and meet God. They will not come down into this, I call it filth, this low vibration planet. So I just wanted to clear the air today. It needed to be cleared. So if people want to just watch one video when I talked about World War III and just leave all these horrendous comments, This guy's lost. This guy is so this, that, and they're only watching one video out of 40 videos that I have that explain who the real Jesus was. Is there hell? Which I should talk about right now, because that's a good thing, because somebody said good and evil does exist. Hell does exist. What about all the people that had a hellish experience? So let's talk about that real quick. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, hell does not exist. Okay? There are no fallen angels. It is impossible for an angel to fall. Period. So let's talk about what people have. Like, we'll just use one example, Howard Storm. All of you, most of you have seen Howard Storm. And if any of you have gone to After Death and seen the movie like I did, even though I've had near-death experience, I still wanted to see it. They did it very, very well. Howard Storm had a hellish experience. Let's call it a dark experience. Why? He said it perfectly clear. When he was laying in the hospital, his wife was next to him in the bed, right? And he was dying. And then all of a sudden he was out of his body. His body was a corpse. And he's trying to talk to his wife, right? And then he began to scream at her. Are you listening? Can't you hear me? Hello, hello. He's scared. He's fear. But what is he in? He's no longer in the physical world anymore. He's in the void. The void is pure consciousness. Period. What you think, it instantly appears. There is no taking time, like how we manifest when we meditate, that it takes time to come into fruition in the physical realm. All right? But in the case of Howard Storm, when he died and he's yelling at his wife, can't you hear me? Hello? Hello? Anybody? Right? He's scared. So he says, like, I can't die. I have a great job. I make a lot of money. I have a beautiful house. I can't die. He's talking about the physical world. What did Jesus say? Do not fall in love with the materialistic world. It will bring you ruin. It doesn't exist. Right? So if he's terrified and holding on to the physical world, holding on to his wealth and money and his prestige and his being a college professor and all of this worthless shit that means nothing to God or to Jesus, right? When he walked out into the hallway, he was met by those hooded beings. Well, what you don't understand is he's creating that in his head. Why? He's scared. He's in the void. He's instantly manifesting that in front of him. So then you see him being torn apart. Why? Because that's what he's creating. And that's what appeared instantly. But then, he wasn't a spiritual guy at the time. So he's like, God, our Father, God, please, and then all of a sudden, boom, there was the light. And he was instantly taken into the light. Okay? He manifested that. Hell is simply a state of consciousness. You can all create it here in the world. Some of us have, living in poverty, losing a home, losing a job, losing all of that, right? You live in fear. It's a hellish experience, right? I did not have one. I had the most beautiful near-death experience. But he created that because, one, he was stuck in the physical world. You cannot bring anything from the physical realm back home with you. It will not happen. You will have a dark experience. It doesn't mean it was hell. He just created a bad experience for himself until he raised his vibration and energy to that of God, of love. Thus, the light appeared. He was taken home. He was hugged and loved and adored by God, by Jesus, by everyone. It was simply his state of consciousness that gave him a bad experience or a bad transition home. It's not hell. It doesn't exist. It's a state of consciousness. It's a state of being. They will see the golden age. So say all of those beings that say, in 9 years when they're born, right? When they're 1 or 2, right? When, say, the war starts and World War III happens, they won't have time to be indoctrinated by a worthless society like we were, or by the church. That's all gone. The world, it ladies and gentlemen, is over. The age of fossil fuels are gone. Electric cars, horrible, that they're going to be replaced. Okay. The world you know it in about 10 years, 15 years is over with, gone. But those babies that are born, just say before the war starts in 10 years, say 9 years from now, right? When they're born, they're going to be of a much higher vibration, a much higher frequency. And they will be the ones that lead us into the golden age of Earth, of egalitarianism, right? We're all equal. There is no difference between the male and female vehicles. They will see that. They will understand that. They will use it when they build those small communities, like in the Dark Ages, you know, way back then in little tiny communities. And what will still be there for them, even though we're all gone? The technology. And they're going to use AI and put the world into a place of unbelievable technology advances. Unbelievable. AI is going to launch us into the most beautiful golden age. We will be working with what was given to me. Oh, the most advanced solar technologies, clean solar technologies. Our beautiful ball of fire up there will provide all our clean energy for us. No more fossil fuels. They are done. Your gas-powered vehicles are kaput in about 10 years. No more lethal, what is that? What do they use for car batteries? That is just horrific for the environment. Gone. But clean fusion is coming as well. So clean fusion and clean solar energy, all our energy needs will be met cleanly and abundantly without the destruction of the world. And as the world rebounds and reclaims itself by natural forests and the clean seas, and you can go to the river and grab a cup of a handful of water and drink, just like they did 2 millennia ago. The golden age. No one will be homeless. No one will be hungry. Everybody will be the same. An egalitarian society, we are all one. They are going to understand that, and they are going to launch us into that golden age. And it will be truly beautiful, but we will all watch it from home. We were not allowed to be there. By the time all of that shit happens, we're all gone. Every single one of us on this planet, except for those beings that survived the war. And they're going to be the ones that that lead us into that technology. Now, will we be allowed to incarnate into that later once it's established? That's a good question. I feel like we would be able to, but we have to clean up our past lives first. And remember, those past lives are playing out right now. So somewhere across, when I talked about my video on deja vu, remember? When you're having a moment, say you're cleaning or cooking, and all of a sudden you have this ungodly, like, have that weird body feeling, right? And you're like, what the hell was that deja vu moment, right? Well, you just simply, your energy matched that of another version of yourself somewhere across the universe, right? So that is what that deja vu moment is. You're doing exactly what another version of yourself is doing. Could be somewhere 5,000 BC, but you know, it's still the same thing. And you merged energies, you felt yourself, and then it was gone. And you're like, what the hell was that? That's deja vu. You are just merging with another version of yourself, energy-wise. So the economy will be like, just say, in these cities, you know, strategically placed. You know, when you look out and you look at, you know, the Smoky Mountains and you see nothing but rolling hills and forests, that's what you're going to see. The earth is going to reclaim itself, Mother Gaia. All right. But you're going to see these cities of high vibrational energy, clean cities, beautiful cities, energy efficient cities, run by solar power, solar technologies, right? So in between these tall buildings are going to be on every level forests, you know, deep, rich forests on each level. While you're at work, working with the most advanced technologies, your children are going to be running around playing in these forests, right? that are interconnected between these buildings, right? And when you look out, that's all you're going to see is forest. It's going to be a truly magnificent age of technology that they're going to be in. And like I said, you're going to be working with type of vehicles, electromagnetic, hovercraft, like you saw in Back to the Future on the hoverboard. That's what we're going to be using. Highly advanced technologies. And those beings that are left over after the war are going to be the ones that do it for us. They're going to put it there for us. And it's truly going to be an amazing thing to watch and see, but all of us will be watching it from home. So, and, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So, but again, we won't be there. By that time happens, we'll spend some time at home. We'll recoup, right? Because it's hard being here in the physical realm. So we take time off. We just relax with our soulmates, our twin flames, our soul family, gallivant around the universe, doing things, recouping. And then, you'll pop up and say, all right, I'm ready to go. And then you meet with your overlord, which is basically a supervisor who is in charge of your spiritual growth, your personal growth. Then you meet with your guides, your archangel, and you create those ripple effects fixed, right? And then you work on that timeline and then say, okay, you're going back to 50 BC. You work on that. And then guess what? You wake up one day and you're an infant. You got a new body. That's all that's new. What's inside is not new. It's ancient. It's eternal. Just the body is new. And you will have chosen to forget, just like we do now. There will be no rich and poor. Everybody will be the same. There is, like I said, it's an egalitarian society. Okay? There is no rich. There is no poor. There is nothing but equality. World peace, no world hunger. Everybody has a home. Everybody is living in peace and harmony, right? World peace, the golden age. Everybody is working together for one thing, and that is the comfort and love of everyone around them. There is no more, what is our society, when I mean the world is ending, there is no more governments, okay? There is no more rich or poor. It's all gone. The world it is over. Period. And that is why we cannot go there, because we've been abused and beaten in this world, right? The indoctrination and the victimization that, like I spoke of earlier, that we went through. All of that is gone. Everything that you know of that have lived through in this timeline is gone. Money is gone. Power is gone. All of that is gone. It does not exist anymore. And that is what, while we're ascending into that higher consciousness right now, that is what it's going to be like. It's all going to be gone. Like I say, all of that inequality is gone. So like you see all these, that's why I will no longer vote. I will no longer take part in this shit society that we cannot seem to get a hold of and say, look, all of this shit is wrong. Okay? But we keep feeding the dog, don't we? We keep feeding the wolf. Right? What's the only way to stop it? By feeding it. We're the cause of the fucking problems. We've got to stop. So I will no longer vote. I will no longer take part in that insanity anymore. Because unless we stop, that war starts and then it's all over. So that's how you change. Somebody asked me, well, then how do we change? How do we get this to stop? Like when people marched on the Capitol or whatever that Capitol shit that took place was, they had the right idea. They did it the wrong way. All right. How do we get the government to listen to us, or governments, or the world to change? Two things. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. One, quit going to fucking work. Quit going to work. Period. Second, quit paying your taxes. The government will fall in 2 months. Done. Well, how would we get food? Move to a warmer climate. Go live in a tent, plant a garden. Get all your food. Who told you to have a house? Who told you to take out a mortgage? Who told you to go get a car payment? Oh, I forgot. Mommy and daddy, right? The same mommy and daddy that told you Santa Claus is real and the tooth fairy, the American dream, spend trillions of dollars on materialistic shit that you won't take with you, that doesn't even really exist in the first place. Who told you to take the mortgage out? Who told you that? You were indoctrinated into a filthy system. Just like me, following the American, following the dream, right? Putting yourself further and further and further and further and further into debt. You want to change this country? Quit going to work. Quit filing taxes. Like when COVID and everybody stayed home, shut it down. You don't have to march on Washington to crush them. Sit on your ass, watch some TV, play some video games, and quit going to work. Go out in your backyard, dig it up, plant a garden. And if you live in a colder climate like me, well, I'm going to get up and move, leave everything here, and go find a place that I can plant a garden 24/7, grow my own food. But I damned well not go to work, and I will not pay my taxes. The government will collapse. It will fall down flat on its face. You don't have to march on it. You don't have to bust shit up. You don't have to kill anything or beat anybody up. Just stay home. Government fails. Every government will fail. Why? They're dependent on us. They're little slave workers, right? Feeding the wolf. I need money. How am I going to keep my house? You're so worried about your damn car and your stupid little house that you don't understand the problem. We created it. God's not going to come down here and fix this. But he is giving us people like me with near-death experiences to tell you what's coming if we don't change. As hard as that may be for you guys to swallow, it needs to happen. In a brutal way, we're out of time. We are out of time. 10 years is going to go by so fast. And then you're going to watch the world descend. And you're going to watch 7 billion people die. And you're going to be part of it. And you'll die horrifically. I don't like using the word death because it doesn't exist. But when 7 billion people are starving to death, and you're watching your baby, who you can no longer feed, starve to death, we have no one to blame but ourselves. No one. And I am here to stop that. Why? Because my love for all of you supersedes everything. My own comfort zones, my own, it just supersedes it. I will not stand for it. And that's that. So one last question, and then I'm going to go. I didn't realize I've been talking for 2 hours. I love all you guys. I love talking to you guys. So one more question, and then I'm going to let you guys enjoy your Sunday. It is. One more question. Come on, somebody's got something. Well, I'm glad that you do, because it simply comes from home. I'm talking about things that have been hushed for millennia, that have been swept under the rug, that has been keeping you in a low vibrational state. And it ends with me. I will not stand for it. I will not. I know the truth. I know who we are, what we are. And I know that we have been kept in this position for far too long, from our society that we built to organized religion, especially the Catholic Church. And if you listen to my view on the greatest lie ever told, the Bible, then, if you haven't, I encourage you to watch that. But I won't stand for it. And somebody said, Jason, it sounds like you're going after the church. 100%. Yep. Their reign on humanity is done. I will not stand for it. I know the truth. And when I sat there talking to my pastor about my death experience and telling him everything that I knew and all this, the look of horror on his face, he sat there like this for 45 minutes, like that, never moved. Why? I caught him in his lie. I caught him in the bullshit. He was terrified that I knew the truth. Terrified. That is why he blacklisted me, quit accepting my phone calls, quit accepting my texts, and kicked me out of the parish. That's when I said, fuck you, I'm out. And I left organized religion and I became free. And it's been beautiful ever since. So, last question. Will things be getting worse over the next 10 years? Yes. And you're starting to see it with the weather patterns, right? We have fucked up this planet so bad that, these weather patterns that are coming, these tornadoes, these hurricanes are brutal. And that is what is going to start World War III. It's going to happen in the East. I'm not going to say exactly who, but a natural disaster will occur and the war will be started over the remaining natural resources on this planet. And thus we will destroy in the 7-year war the entire Earth. And we will not be able to go out into the weather, and what is left of food and of inhabitable drinking water will be on such a micro level that, as I said before in the video that I did, that 7 billion people are going to die. Not including those that have died in the war, the actual war itself. But the war will consume, it will be fought over the remaining natural resources. But for example, here in Europe, I like to pay taxes. What if I don't? Money isn't real, and it's not going to your benefit. Spider, it's not going to your benefit. They're lying to you. That's part of the illusion that you're under. But most people can't even afford those insurance bills and all of that, right? It's part of the problem. You're feeding the wolf. The wolf isn't there for your good, okay? They're not there for your good. They're there for themselves. That's why that 1% remains at the top, while you are constantly forced to pay more and more taxes to fund their shit. Not in 3 years. In about 10 years, the war is going to start. And then when it does, it's going to consume the planet. It'll be a 7-year war like World War II, but it will be on such a massive level that it destroys the world. But your taxes are higher. You pay higher taxes than we do here in the States. We have to pay taxes on our paycheck. We have to go pay taxes when we go to the grocery store. Our food is taxed, right? We have to pay taxes on our cars when we buy a car. To license that vehicle is to pay taxes. We've got to pay taxes when we drive down the roads to fund the roads and the bridges that are already being funded by our taxes. Where are they? Our roads are crap. It's theft is all it is. I know you guys have universal health, but your taxes are much higher there, even though it's a whatever tax it is, because I'm not in Europe, my friend. But regardless, all I'm saying is the house of cards is crumbling, and it's done. Right. The poor stay poor. The middle class keep paying higher and higher taxes. The rich don't. They push it off, and they push it back onto us. There's no more money here in Social Security. That's all gone. That would be great, but what do we have money for in the first place? Why do we need money? We don't. We created a broken system, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. But we're not helping each other. That's the thing. If we were helping each other, there wouldn't be 1% of the world's population holding all the money. We would all have it. And then we wouldn't have to pay for food, health, doctors, any of that. We would all be equal. We would all be one, but that's what's coming. Right, Maria. I know what you're trying to say. That's just because you're used to the system that you're born into. I was shown something different. I know what's coming. The house of cards is coming down, Spider. Okay? It's already coming down. And I love you all. And that's why I do this. I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to make you live in fear. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to make you realize that the system that we created is done. It's over with. It's done. And what's coming in the new age is equality for everyone. No money, no nothing, except oneness. We all come together. We all do the same thing for one another. That's not here in the world right now. There's too much hate. There's too much violence. The ego is running the world. Not us, the ego. And if you watch the news, then you'll see the wars. You'll see the beheading of the babies. You'll hear rapes, murders, and all of this. Right. There you go. That's exactly. And you know, it's a broken system, and we broke it, and it's being fixed. And that's just what's coming. And that's all I'm doing, is telling you guys what's coming. But I've been on here for 2 hours and 11 minutes, guys. I love you to death. For all those that helped me out and donated, which was not what I came here. I just came here to vent a little bit and to teach and to open up to all you beautiful souls. Thank you for showing up. I didn't expect anybody to, because it was impromptu. It was just me wanting to clear the air, put some things out there. Yeah, and I did that. And I'm honored by all of you that have shown up. I love you all so very much. I do. And I will keep moving on. I will keep teaching. And that is what I came here to do. That is what my near-death experience taught me, was that I came here to teach, being a chosen one, that I have been walking this earth for 30,000 years, helping humanity. And it may not seem like it, but I have. And I'm honored. I am truly honored that God has asked me to do this. I'm just sorry that it took me so long to wake the fuck up. I'm sorry to all of you that I haven't been able to start doing this earlier. But for all of you that are here, I love you very much. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your love and support. And I wish all of you nothing but the best for the rest of this Sunday. I hope you have a beautiful week. And I will see you soon. You're very welcome, Spider. I love you. Tracy, I love you. Maria, I love you. I love you all. So I hope you have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon. All my love to you.